Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to another Forex Power Hour. I am Marcello, and today is January 19th, 2014. We're going to do today what I've done for years, which is an analysis of the markets, an evaluation of our past market analysis, and then we're going to do a brief questions and answers. So let's go ahead and get started here. How does it work? Well, this is our Forex performance curve, previous curve. I can actually show you the up-to-date curve. And our up-to-date curve actually has a 91% win ratio, and it looks something like this. And this is up to January 20th. And this is actually for one of our currency pairs, the Aussie dollar. Now, getting back to our presentation, great. What you'll notice is that we have a pretty high win ratio. Our percent profitable is generally up there, and on the euro dollar there, you'd have seen that it was at 83.5%, and the Aussie dollar is currently at 91% over a couple of years time period. So here's our formula for success. Basically, we do our 5 p.m. market analysis to determine the bias. Each night, we use our set it and forget it system, so you can basically take trades in the direction of the bias and set your stops and your take profits. Or you can join us in the European or New York session to take even bigger profits and learn to trade as well in our live trade room that we do on Tuesdays and Thursdays right here on Forex, and then you can do nothing else for the rest of the week. So that's basically the plan that we have for our guys. So let's go ahead and do the daily analysis today. Let's see where the market is. All right, so over the last couple of days, I basically said that we would see a sell-off, and that's exactly what we saw in the market. We saw a massive sell-off here on the market, right through that place that I told you was pivotal. So you may notice here that we had this area called our this is basically our apex. So if you notice, I have a resistance area above, I have a support area below, and they form what looks like a triangular shape. That is our pennant. Okay, so what happens here is the market is in a consolidation. It's consolidating, it's contracting, if you will, and at some point it's got to expand. And basically when we get close to this area, to that point, is when we're going to see a lot of market movement. We're going to see generally a breakout, is what we're used to seeing. Sometimes the market can just go straight through it and completely ignore it, but most of the time there's a breakout in one direction or the other. So here we have a breakout to the downside, followed by what looks like a reversal candle right off of the 3,500 area. Okay, now look, right now as it stands, I'm pretty sure that we can actually find another support area. So I'm going to look at that first before I say anything else. Because if we do have a support area, we've got to consider this. Yep, it pretty much lines up, actually. We had another support area. Actually, we can probably find just one more. We would have to consider that reversal candle much more seriously here. But we don't actually have that, do we? Let's see here. I'm actually going to draw this in another color so that we can distinguish it from the others. Oops. It's not the one that I wanted to distinguish here. Actually, I can delete it. This is the one that I wanted to distinguish. Okay, so let's take a look at it on the lower time frame. I just went up to the weekly to get a better idea of where the market was. Okay, and so here we do see that we do have that support area, and it is right on this this area, this trend line here. Now this trend line does have multiple touches, which does make it, we should consider it as a serious area of support and resistance. But right now it's showing us just 2 points of contact, and the stronger ones are actually above those points of contact, so we don't really have that there. This is clearly a reversal candle. This is bouncing off of the 13500 area, and really looks like it wants to push us back to the upside. To be honest with you, I do expect price, or I did expect price, to go down to this 134.50 area. So I've been talking about a sell-off since up here, and you can see that we're already down to 13500. The next stop is 134.50, and we're currently at 135.40. Okay, so basically this trend line, we're under the trend line, but we can easily see price make a retest here of the previous trend lines at 13600 first, before trying to continue down to this 134.50 area, where we expected price to go down to as a support area. So what does that mean for us right now? I do believe that looking at this reversal candle, there's a probability that we could see a buy here. Number one, because we have a bounce off of the 3500. That's a good pod. We also have this trend line here, which is a secondary pod. That's good. And we may see also, and obviously there's a very strong reversal candle here, and we're also at the zero line for the previous Fibonacci area. So this is very, very strong territory here for those three reasons. And so for that reason, we think we're going to get a buy, potentially back up to 13600, where we may there see a sell-off down back to the support area below at 134.50. All right, so that's that on the euro dollar. So we've got a buy bias up for 50 so far. I do think that there's an eventual sell. If we see price pass 135.06, then we have to believe that it's going to get down to this 34.50 area, and that's just the way it stands. Now, look at this pound dollar. Pound dollar also was interesting, actually. It's got the opposite effect. As you can see, we had drawn this trend line here, and that was our support area, and we said that we're looking for a sell trend line. Basically, we're going to look for a retest and then a sell-off of that area. And what we have here, is that price really did retest it a couple times. Once here, all right, 164.57, and then again here yesterday at 164.51. So 164.50 is really that area of resistance, and we have retested this trend line twice. So what does that mean for us? We have retested it. We have not broken through that area, so we're more likely than not going to see a sell. So for that very reason, we've got to have a sell bias on the pound dollar. Okay, so we have a sell bias on the pound dollar for the time being. If we see, because we had two retests here on this trend line, which we were in the apex, and we do have a breakout to the low side, so we could see a push down through that trend line, and we could actually see a move toward the 16200. So that actually does look safer. The good thing about this trade, if you do take a sell on this trade, is that it's about a 43 pip stop loss on this trade. So about 50 pips. In the downside, you've got about 100 pips to the 50 EMA, which is also an area of support. We know that. And then also 212 pips. So the risk to reward ratio, or I should say reward to risk ratio, is between 2-to-1 and 4-to-1. Okay, so you can make, for your 50 pips, you can make 200 pips potentially, and potentially double or quadruple your money. Okay, so that's actually, and we have two touches there on that pound dollar. That's not a bad trade to look at. It looks like we also are forming a head and shoulders pattern here. This is a shoulder. This is the head. This is another shoulder. and it's given us reason to believe that it's going to obey this trend line. It's going to acknowledge it, and we could very well see a drop on the pound dollar. All right, New Zealand. So we had drawn a support area here below, and you can see that price really did test it, going down to the 200 EMA and bouncing off of it, and giving us a very strong showing to the upside on the New Zealand. And that's pretty much where we're at right now. Basically, we're in a consolidation on this New Zealand. We need to probably draw trend lines a little bit more carefully here. And we got to look for a buy here on the New Zealand. You know, we may see it get back up to 83.73 at the very least, and then maybe up to 84.17. And then you can see here that there's a potential for a drop down to 81.52. So here's our support areas as we look above us to 83.73, 84.17, and then another level here at 84.99. Those are our support our resistance areas for the New Zealand. For the time being, we've got to look for a buy here because of the strength of the previous candle bouncing off a pod, which is a point of decision. That 200 EMA, which serves for us as a place where the market had to make a decision and decided to move up. So, and it's a very strong candle as well. We very well may either see a continuation of a consolidation here or a move back up to this trend line at 84.15, 84.17. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar is actually showing us a kind of a railroad tracks formation, and that's what we were wondering here. We're going to look for a price to interact at 88.50. We do kind of have 2 days of price interacting almost in that range at 88.25, but we're really looking for price to get back to 88.50. And for the time being, this is almost a perfect railroad tracks. Not to mention, it is a key area. Basically, price has gotten down, or is hanging out between the 87.50 area and the 8800 area, which is a strong area of support. Let's take a look at the weekly just to be sure of this. And you know, there's no doubt about it. We've actually passed this area. 88.50 is actually a very, very strong area of support and resistance. So what I would say is, you know, watch for a move back up. Watch for a retest at 88.50. I'm sure that we'll have a better idea of where price wants to go thereafter. But for the time being, you know, I look for a retest of 88.50. We're currently at 8800, so we may have a 50 pip move up to 88.50 again to retest here, and then we may see a drop again, because we have seen a lot of movement down on the Aussie dollar until there's some fundamentals in play there. That'll change that for us. We've got to believe for a continuation down. 88.50 is a very, very strong area of support and resistance, and so that area was an area of support. Now it's an area of resistance. We'll look for price to move from there. So right now I'm looking for a 50 pip move up. I would dare say that our bias is a buy. Okay, I want to buy up to 88.50 and see what happens at that pod, and see if price continues to move up or if it bounces off of that area, and we'll talk about that going forward. Okay, so dollar CAD's actually in a consolidation, clearly 1, 2, 3, 4 bars inside of each other here. So be looking for a breakout here in one direction or the other. Looks like it's going to look for a continuation here. So the price movement up. Right now we can't tell. If you're at the bottom of the range, you're going to buy. If you're at the top of the range, you're going to want to sell. Okay, for the time being. Euro yen also in a consolidation here. We've actually gotten back down to that, to retest that 50 EMA here on the euro yen. And, you know, we can basically look in this consolidation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bars in here. We can look for a price move up again. So I've got a buy bias from the euro yen at least up to $142.50. So from where we are at 14100 to 142.50, with about a 75 pip stop loss here. $75 pip stop loss, 150 pip potential profit 2-to-1 ratio as far as reward to risk. Dollar yen is also showing a bit of consolidation here. Same exact thing as what I would say there. Buy. And the pound yen is quite a different story, actually. I'd actually be looking for a sell on this pound yen because we're in the range. We're at the bottom of the range. There hasn't been any real interaction with this railroad tracks. No acknowledgement by the market. So we're going to wait and see what happens there. But there's nothing for us to expect there. As far as the dollar Swiss is concerned, I see the potential for a sell from this area. We may get a retest of the 200 EMA here and then potentially a sell-off on the dollar Swiss just for tomorrow, and then we can look for price to move from there. Now, there's a little bit of ambiguity. The only one that honestly looks very sure here for me is the pound dollar. That would be my play. Pound dollar sell looks very, very strong there. And that pretty much sums it up as far as we're concerned. So if I can recap here, euro dollar, we can potentially look for a buy. Now we are retesting that trend line already, so we could see price break below at 135.06, and if it breaks below 135.06, you can be sure to see a move down to 134.50. So you can actually put a sell stop here and see price move down there at that point. We already retested this trend line, but we haven't really interacted. It's not the time to be where the market is concentrating on the euro dollar, and so we do expect to see some movement down first of all, or some vacillation before we get into the London session, where we expect to see if there is going to be a move, it's going to be moving up or down then. Pound dollar is a sell, so I've got a euro dollar buy, pound dollar sell, New Zealand buy, Aussie dollar buy. Dollar CAD is in vacillation. I'm not going to play with that one. Euro yen's a buy, dollar yen's a buy, pound yen is a sell, and dollar Swiss is a sell as well. And that's what we have for the day, guys. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for another Tribe Forex Power Hour. And here's what I'm going to be doing, or what I want you to do. I want you to go to tribeforex.com right now if you're not there already, and I want you to sign up for a free Tribe Forex membership where you can get on there, learn about what pods are, learn about points of decision, and also learn about, and also go to our live trade room, enjoy that, and not to mention all the other benefits, communing with other people who believe the same way that you do as far as trading is concerned. With that, I'll talk to you tomorrow. All the best. Happy trading.